Hey everyone, Peter from Argo. This is video number 3 of our April Twitter Q&A. Thank you again for all the questions. I got the Argo hoodie today, which I'm happy to be wearing. It feels like kind of a hoodie kind of day. It's raining out here, and so yeah, good to see you all again. All right, I'm going to jump right into it. Studley at Studley Tweet asks, why only Zcash apart from BTC? Zcash, when we bought the Zcash mining machines, the Z11s, we felt like the projected ROI, we bought them in 2 different time periods. We felt like the projected ROI on those machines was really worthwhile. And it was within the time frame and the kind of scope of return that we wanted. So we pulled the trigger on them, and both of those investments have already ROI'd very quickly. So yeah, so it just it made sense, and again, it goes back to kind of our smart growth mentality. When we see a good opportunity, we'll take it on machines. The Z15s, for instance, we didn't buy last summer. We didn't think that we thought they were overpriced. We thought they were a little bit late. They were having some manufacturing issues. We instead bought some used Z11s. Those ROI'd very quickly. So really, it's just we like any coins that are going to give us a good return, that that are quality projects, and that's why we're mining Zcash. And as I've said before, we're coin agnostic. We're machine agnostic. We'll mine whatever makes sense at the time. 7 Pablo at Luke F. Paul, given the brilliant 84% margin in March, could you please confirm or deny that at Perry Hottie is using cellular goods products to grease the machines so they achieve such high margins? That's a funny joke. Thanks, Pablo. It's worth having in there because it's a good play on words. At Neil Dudley 82. I know Peter personally says he doesn't like to predict Bitcoin prices, but if we are hodling for now, then we must have a goal in mind. Can you confirm that if the board has a goal price before we sell BTC? Good question. So we don't have a price in mind. We want to continue to increase our overall balance sheet, and a good way to do that is to hold Bitcoin, which we are mining ourselves. In terms of where Bitcoin is going, again, short term, medium term, I'm not going to predict the price. Long term, we're extremely bullish. So that's why we have it on the balance sheet, because same reason, I am holding Bitcoin and other people are holding Bitcoin. We believe that it's a really good store of value. It's a better store of value than any other asset out there right now. Toucan456 at Toucan456. Mined coins seem to be going straight into Argo Treasury. Can you disclose the average book price and also reassure us that you will not then tap shareholders to shore up cash flow? I'd rather Argo diversified risk a bit more. Well, on the last piece, we are diversifying risk by not only being Bitcoin miners, but we're also investing in other projects, and those I think are going to show up over years or quarters and years that we're not just exposed to the vagaries of being a Bitcoin miner. Although we really feel like, obviously, with the margins we're at right now, Bitcoin mining is a really good business. In terms of average book price, we don't disclose that, but you can do the math. Look at our costs, look at our revenue, look at our margins, and you can pretty much figure out what's costing us to mine a Bitcoin. Calder Capital at Calder Capital. Hi Peter, can you please describe how your monthly margin is calculated, i.e. what cost does it exclude? Your 2020 interim report showed hosting and depreciation to be the largest cost on the balance sheet, so I was wondering whether these are included. Good question. Question comes up a lot. So our monthly mining margin, and the one thing I will say is that this is a metric that we I don't want to say invented, but we have really pushed. We've been the ones that have led the way with all of the miners to put out mining margins, to put out operational updates. Other people are now, kind of copying it and doing it as well. We did it even in the bear market. Even when things were tight, we did it. So I hope that we get some credit for kind of, being pioneers in transparency around communicating to the market what we're doing. In terms of how it's calculated and what it excludes. So it does not include depreciation. It includes our power costs and our hosting costs. That's it, which are the vast majority of our costs given, how energy intensive mining is. Yes, at Fricorico 1. I missed the timelines. When is the facility in Texas going to be up and running? The facility in Texas will be up and running in Q1 of 2022. So it's now April. So, we're trying to get it up. Well, we will be getting it up in February, March, roughly of next year. Ray Minty Marvin, at Ray Minty Marvin, is it really necessary to put your blue light glasses on to read each question, then immediately take them off to answer and repeat? You can expense a blue light filter on your screen. I'm okay with that. Thank you, Ray. Unfortunately, Ray, I do have blue light glasses for night, but these are my blue light glasses for night, which you can see have the blue tint. And maybe I wore them by accident one time, but these are actually reading glasses because I'm getting old, Ray. And so, it's a little fuzzy right now. I got it on a large enough font and I can scroll down and I can sometimes read it, but if it gets a little, then I do have to throw these on. So Ray, thank you. For your concern, unfortunately, it is sometimes necessary. I'm going to try to read the rest of the questions, Ray, without my glasses, and we'll see how it goes, and then you'll see if I really need them. Jason, at StockStrends86. StockStrends86. Any thoughts for, especially with these weird Twitter names, because sometimes they're really hard to pick up. Any thoughts for expanding energy management into emerging neogrid technology, or taking a stake or buying into a mining hosting company? Any plan for a time in the future where miners are easier to obtain than space to mine? Good questions, Jason. I like what you're thinking. Neogrid technology, super interesting, innovative, taking kind of, making these grids, these off-grid power structures and very innovative. We don't have any plans to do that right now because we're really focused on our on-grid power in Texas, which is really cheap and reliable. So no, but on the radar. Taking a stake or buying into a mining hosting company. Well, we've kind of done that. We've bought, these 2 properties in Quebec, and we're building our own facility in Texas. In terms of, being a host, like a company like Compute North or, Northern Data or Core, not really the kind of expert. Those guys are doing it. They're doing it well. We don't particularly want to get into that type of business, but good question. Any planning for a time in the future where miners are easier to obtain than space to mine? It's a good question. I mean, from the start, I've said and I've learned that you need 2 things in this business as a cryptocurrency miner. You need machines and you need power. We've kind of are solving for the power, with building our own flagship facility in Texas, which has, a huge amount of capacity. 800 megawatts is really enormous and will take us a long time to fill out because you need a lot of capital to build up, machines, especially with the price of machines where they are right now. And then in terms of miners and access to miners, I think the miner piece is harder now than the space piece. But they're both challenging. But I don't see a time in the future where miners are easier to obtain than space. I think it's always going to be the both of them. The key thing on the space is obviously to have renewable and cheap. The key thing on the miners is to have, affordable and efficient. So those are the 2 kinds of things, the way in which we're thinking. When Lambo at Bresnan writes, "Hi Peter, hi Peter. When Lambo, thanks." This is a reference to the meme. Someone goes like, "Buy crypto when Lambo." Hopefully you'll get your Lambo soon, man. I don't know. It's what can I say? I have not bought a Lambo myself, nor do I have any plans to. Sanchez K at Sanchez LFC. What is Argo's current cash position? How is the business generating income if not selling Bitcoin? The worry for shareholders is how long until the next dilution? I kind of answered this one already. We have a strong cash position. We are not selling Bitcoin right now. We've done some raises this year. We're able to cover off our operating costs in an effective way. We feel like that's a better use of cash than selling Bitcoin, given how quickly Bitcoin's appreciating. It's doubled already since the start of the year. And the worry for shareholders is how long until the next dilution. I hear that message. I totally, Big Lou at Big Club. How does a normal day of Peter Wall look like? Good question. Well, I spend most of my day in this room. This is my office. I usually am at my computer by between 7 and 8. This morning I was 7:30 working. I do calls and I'm mostly on the phone pretty much from 8 o'clock in the morning, because I'm 5 hours behind UK. So check in with what's going on in the UK in the morning right away and look at, I don't eat in the morning. I pretty much just get up and go right to work. And then I work all day. My kids often bring me lunch at my desk, like a sandwich, which is nice of them. Sometimes I go downstairs and make myself lunch. If I'm lucky, at between 5 and 7, I'll get out for some exercise, maybe a bike ride. That's pretty much like a bike ride or a little workout or a tennis game or something like that. But yeah, that's the time. Then I'll eat dinner with the family between 6:30 and 7:30, depending on the time of year. And then depending on how much work there is, often I'm back at my desk by, last night I was back at my desk at 8, and then I worked till 11. And then I went to bed, and today got up and do it all again. So that's kind of what my normal day looks like. I try to take some time off on the weekends. It's long days right now. You can sleep in the next bear market, whenever that may be, if ever. Matthew, but thank you for the question, Big. It's important that we all take care of ourselves, but it's also, there's lots to do. So it's a balance. It's a good time to work a lot right now, especially during the pandemic. Matthew, at Matthew 590173995. Is there a potential for a crossover with Tesla, power banks storing renewables, potential for renewable power sources, and cover for power dropouts in the winter? Look, and this is a question that's come up before. We're not talking to Tesla. Is there an opportunity for batteries to play a role in this? Yes, but obviously crypto uses so much power. You'll need a lot of batteries. So I think short term, I don't see anything happening. Longer term, potentially. More info on the Epic machines would be appreciated. They're going to be great. Those guys are really smart. They're building out some incredible technology. Can't really say anything more than that. They're trying to keep their competitive advantage on those machines, but they're really going to be good. What color should I choose for my Tesla? Nice, blue. Blue. I think blue is always a good choice. Keith MJ at Keith MJ3. I understand how you are a stakeholder in Pluto, but does their success directly translate to the success of Argo and its share price? For instance, if Pluto ventures into the NFT space, can Argo then announce they're in the NFT space, even if it's indirectly? It's a good question. And I think it's a long-term hold for us. I think Pluto is going to be, a success over like all things is going to take time for it to develop. So that's how it's going to work out for us. We're not, expecting to do it whatever X on Pluto in the next 2 months. It's going to be, over a period of years, not over a period of weeks or months. In terms of our, if Pluto's in NFTs, are we in NFTs? And if Pluto does this, do we part? I think partly our interest in Pluto is kind of allowing them to do what they do really well, which is play in that DeFi, VC kind of space, which they're also going to take into the NFT space. So I guess indirectly, you're right. That it's Keith, that it's a way for us to kind of say we're in it, but I don't think we're going to announce that we're in NFTs now because they're in NFT. I think we can clearly keep those things separate. They're a separate company. Michael 20182011. Are there plans to uplist onto the on the London Stock Exchange the premium segment, which would allow us to join the FTSE 250 index? It's a question we get a lot. It's a good question. And the answer is no. There are not any plans to list onto the FTSE 250. There's a number of, other than just market cap, there's a number of other pieces, regulatory pieces that you need to do, hoops that you need to jump through, that we feel like at this time, it's not really worth us to try to jump through them, even though there is value there. Again, can't be everything to everyone, and we've made a decision not to focus on getting uplisted to the FTSE. Abdul Razik Shakur, my question is, do you like tea and scones? I'm not a coffee drinker. I do like tea and I do like scones. There you go, Abdul. But I'm not British, so I'm not totally sure I get that question. John Wick, John Wick. See, I need the glasses, Ray. John Wick, FI investor. What is Peter Wall's favorite drink? I plan on sending a bottle of his favorite when we hit 10 pounds. Thank you, John. I appreciate the support. I'm a beer drinker. I'm not a wine or spirits drinker. So, anything that's local and tasty, I will drink pretty much. Update on Strontium Dog. I think you mentioned that you're donating 5% of your share takings to an environmental cause yet to be decided. Just wonder if there's any update on that. Thank you. Good question. And the update is I'm still doing the research. I've taken the money. I've put it aside. I'm having conversations with various people and I might want to make it right. I'm not sure if I'm going to announce it publicly or not. That's kind of a decision I'm talking through with my wife and with whatever environmental NGO we donated the money to, but yeah, no updates on it other than that research is being done. It's a little trickier to do because it's not a small amount of donation. Shaquille at not SCC. Can I get an awa awa? This is, I believe, a reference to the awa awa thing going on TikTok with the dogs. No, I'm not gonna. And if I had the dog's not here, otherwise maybe I'd get the dog and try to do it. Awa awa. But thank you, that's cute. Anthony Power at Casanova UK. Hi Peter, with many new entrants to the market in North America, do you envision any M&A activity? And then second one as well, are there any potential future investments revenue streams? So let me deal with the first one first. M&A, I think, listen, in this space, there is, on the M&A side, it's if you're gonna buy a existing mining company or location, whether it's private or public or whatever, you're gonna have to spend whatever you're gonna buy to buy that. That's interesting and that's fine. But sometimes that money might be better spent just buying new machines, because you're gonna buy someone who's got machines that have been running for whatever period of time, and they've got their infrastructure that they've built out. There's value in that for sure, but often the valuation that they're putting on their company is significantly higher than their machines. So I think that's the challenge on the M&A, is actually getting, a pricing that makes more sense than buying machines. So yeah, that's what I say about that. I think that there will be consolidation in the space, but I don't think it's going to happen in the coming weeks, but I think in the coming years it'll happen as larger players enter the space, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, last question from Anthony. Are there any further potential investments, revenue streams Argo is currently considering? Yes, we're always considering new investments and other revenue streams. I've talked about that before. We want to be a blockchain technology company. We don't want to be only classified as a cryptocurrency miner in the long term. So lots of opportunities we're looking at. I've mentioned DeFi. I've mentioned proof of stake. So it's an interesting space. It's early days. Lots of things to come. I can't say more than that right now. Okay, thank you all for your questions. This is the last video of the April video series. Appreciate all the feedback, and we'll do one again hopefully in May or somewhere about then. In the meantime, yeah, thanks again for your support, and onwards and upwards.